Hey, listen, my guest is a well-respected and talented singer who's put in the mileage in this industry. His CD, Storyteller, released in 2008, continues to be one of the hottest projects compiled. It certainly was my mother's favorite CD and is always in rotation in the Garrison household. And he's been seen all over the ATL, nationwide, and recently toured Europe this summer. Please welcome the one and only, the Storyteller, Heston Francis in the house. Heston, what's going on, sir? Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Hey, without a doubt, man, one of the top CDs in that Garrison household, without a shadow of a doubt, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know if you remember, man, we actually met long before this show, an event my wife and I and her cousin Calvin Evans, photographer extraordinaire, hosted called Venom and Vinos, was out in Kirkwood, and you performed.
I do remember. I did it upstairs. No, downstairs.
Yep.
Downstairs.
Yeah, but it was a two-story venue. Yep.
Against the glass.
And, man, now we got you on the show.
Yes. Small world, isn't it?
It is, brother. And thank you so much, or give thanks, I should say, to Miss Dorman Davis for helping putting this together for us.
Yes, fabulous lady.
Hey, Heston, how did you get your start, sir?
Long story, but basically, I got a bug for singing as a kid, watching "Say Say Say" by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, in conjunction with a bunch of records from my mother's and father's old record collection, from Return to Addis, some reggae, Al Green's gospel, ABBA. Barbra Streisand and Barry Gibb, the Guilty album, still one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, so that's basically where it started for me, man. Just listening to these old albums, and the radio station that played in the Caribbean, it's called DBS Radio. They played everything from classic rock to pop to soul to R&B to jazz. So I got a mixture of a bunch of music as a kid.
Yeah, that you, as for those that don't know, you are from the Caribbean, an island called Dominica. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How has, I'm sure that has influenced a lot of your music and in your messages. Is that, do you find that is true?
I believe so. As long as I've been away from Dominica, if you really pay attention to the music, there's a very mild undertone of Caribbean rhythm, reggae. It's not delivered. It just is what it is. And I always lean to that. There is something about that. When people listen, even when they, it's, I guess, titled R&B soul music, but everybody's always like, I can really hear myself on the beach in the Caribbean. And so there's something about the music that
absolutely
that.
Hey, Heston, could you take your mind back many years now? What was it like in the early days doing, when you had to do any gig and just trying to really be heard as an artist? What were those days like here in the, in the Chitlin circuit, as we would call it, the underground?
It's just a hustle. I think doing music, even I always kind of knew the approach I wanted. I always kind of knew the sound and the image that I wanted. And I remember the more important thing for me was always being able to package the music properly for presentation. So I did the EP, and I spent a lot of time. I ended up having my first EP. I had a painting done of myself, and I packaged it and basically handed a bunch of CDs out because really no one was buying it because no one knew and no one was hearing because there's no radio, there's no outlet, or at that time there wasn't. There was, but I just wasn't getting any airplay. So I basically started handing it out. I did a lot of my promotion for my shows, especially here in Atlanta and some neighboring cities. But I did all my promotions. I printed up my flyers. I looked at flyers of artists that I kind of looked up to and kind of like mimicked the design, for professionalism. And did as much as I could, built relationships and networked with others, either in magazine or 91.9 was an amazing help for me. Still is, and always is supportive in getting the word out. So it's just a hustle, and today it's not much different, man. I mean, more people know your name, and you perform at different venues, and you're traveling more, but the hustle stays the same. I mean, if you it's like they say, when you sign to a label, the work really just starts, because you still have to have a great team with you, because you can't do it alone. And there's so much work that needs to be done. You have no idea. Well, I'm sure you do, but